So today I wanted to talk in depth about work, employment, benefits, and about returning to work when you live with a condition like functional neurological disorder, or conditions that affect you in similar ways to functional neurological disorder. It's a topic that can bring up a lot of emotion. It can bring up a lot of fear and hope and pressure and guilt and a lot of confusion. And it's often talked about in a very black and white way. Either people are framed as able to work or unable to work. And for many people with neurological conditions, chronic or fluctuating conditions as well, that framing is just not what reflects the reality of living with the condition. F&D, it can affect movement, coordination, speech cognition, memory, fatigue, pain, sensory processing, vision, and your overall stamina as a whole. Symptoms literally fluctuate dramatically, not just day to day, but hour to hour or even minute to minute. And stress, expectations, the environments that you're in, and pressure that you're put under can all make your symptoms worse, even when someone's genuinely trying their best. So, when we talk about work, we're not talking about willpower. We're talking about the nervous system's capacity. And one of the most important things that we need to understand is that work itself is a neurological demand. Work itself is a demand being placed on you neurologically, and it requires sustained attention, regulation, sustained interaction, physical or cognitive effort, and the ability to recover. For people with FND and conditions like this, that recovery piece that they need is often where things actually break down. That's why the type of job matters so much. Jobs that tend to be more suitable for people with FND are often those that allow the flexibility, the predictability, and control over the pacing. Flexibility, it might mean flexible hours, it might mean flexible deadlines, it might mean a flexible workload or flexibility around where and how your work gets done. And it can be remote or work from home roles that are especially helpful. Working from home removes that neurological demand and load of commuting to work, navigating those public spaces, managing the sensory overload, or masking your symptoms around other people. And roles like writing, editing, admin work, data entry, transcription, research, assistance, digital design, content moderation, and online customer support roles by email or chat, they can be more manageable because what they do is they allow you for pacing and breaks. However, working from home isn't automatically an easier solution. It requires structure, boundaries, and more energy. For some people, hybrid models are part home, part in person. They are more suitable for them. Creative work is often a suggested job, and it's for good reason. Art, music, digital design, photography, crafting, or running a small online shop. What they do is they allow people to work when their nervous system allows rather than a strict schedule being when they work. And the creative work can sometimes also become more stressful if it turns into constant deadlines, or algorithm pressure, or financial instability. The creativity doesn't equal unlimited capacity. And part time work, it deserves so much more respect than it actually gets. Working a few hours a week can be a massive neurological load, especially for someone with FND. The idea that work only counts if it's this full time, it's deeply ableist because it ignores how capacity actually works. Some people with FND may be able to tolerate certain in person roles, particularly those that are, low pressure, repetitive, predictable, and roles that are physically supported. Examples of those are jobs like quiet retail settings, libraries, archives, reception desks that have seating, or support roles that don't require the constant multitasking or high emotional labor. But again, what we have to know is that suitability, it depends on entirely on that individual. And none of this is sustainable without accommodations being put in place. Accommodations, they're not bonuses or favors that you're given. They're practical adjustments that make work accessible. Without them, even the right job, it can become impossible. Common accommodations that people with the condition, such as FND like myself, they may include flexible start times or flexible finish times, reduced or variability in hours, the ability to work from home, extra rest breaks, the option to sit or recline or lie down, the ability to leave early if symptoms escalate. Other accommodations, they include modified duties that avoid known triggers, quieter workspaces, reduced sensory input, predictable routines, written instructions instead of verbal ones, assistive technology being put in place, like speech to text software, or allowing communication via email or messaging instead of on phone calls or meetings. For people with cognitive symptoms, accommodations like task chunking, realistic deadlines, and fewer simultaneous tasks and clear priorities can actually be the difference between managing and burning out completely. In many countries, employers are legally required to provide you with reasonable accommodations in your work role, especially to disabled employees. You don't need to disclose every detail about the condition. All you need to do is tell them that you have the condition and explain how it affects your ability to work and what adjustments would help mitigate those barriers. Now, I do want to spend some time in this video talking about benefits, disability support, and work trials, because this is where a lot of fear and misinformation lives. And many people with functional neurological disorder rely on disability benefits, sometimes temporarily, sometimes longer term, sometimes permanently. The benefits are often the thing that keeps people housed, that keeps people fed or able to access healthcare. The fear of losing benefits is not irrational. Benefit systems are frequently complex, rigid, and poorly designed for fluctuating conditions like functional neurological disorder. The idea that one attempt at work could trigger reassessments, sanctions, or the loss of income, it's genuinely terrifying. And that's for good reason. That's why it's crucial to understand your local system. Understand that system before attempting a return to work. In some systems, there are options such as permitted work, trial work periods, therapeutic earning limits, or work capacity or capability trials. These are designed, at least in theory, to allow disabled people to test their ability to work without immediately losing their benefits. These schemes often limit the number of hours you can work or the amount that you can earn, but they provide something incredibly important. They provide you with safety. They allow you to gather real-world evidence about what your capacity is without putting your entire livelihood on the line and at risk. Work trials can be especially valuable for people with FND because what they provide you with is information about what your body cannot give you from a hypothetical conversation. You learn how your symptoms respond to the routine, the expectations, the social interaction, and the sustained effort that that role needs. You learn how long you need to recover. You learn what accommodations are non-negotiable, what ones you need. And disability employment services, vocational rehabilitation, or supported employment programs, they can also play a role. These services may help with pacing plans, employer communication, trial placements, or advocacy just around accommodations that you may need. Some, they act as intermediaries, which can reduce pressure or misunderstanding. And it's also completely valid to decide that maintaining benefits, it's the safest and healthiest option. It's benefits, they exist because not everyone can work safely or consistently. Needing them is not a failure, and it's not something that you have to grow out of. Let's think about it. Okay, let's talk about readiness. Being ready to return to work doesn't mean being symptom free. Many people with FND will never reach that point. Readiness is about your stability, your insight, and support, not perfection, and that's the case. Some useful questions to reflect on can include: can I tolerate some level of routine without significant deterioration? Do I have strategies for managing flare ups or bad days? Do I have medical, therapeutic, or community support if work increases my symptoms? Am I pursuing work because I want to explore it, or because I feel that I'm pressured, ashamed, or afraid of judgment? Starting small, it's not failure. It's often the most responsible choice you can make. Volunteering, freelancing, and short work trials or very limited hours allow you to test your capacity without overwhelming your nervous system. And this needs to be said clearly. Trying to work and then stopping is not failure. It's information. It's self-knowledge. It's listening to your body. Work, it requires emotional and physical energy. Managing expectations, communication, performance reviews, and sometimes stigma, it can all be exhausting. For people with FND, a condition that is so widely misunderstood, that emotional load can be so significant. And if returning to work would seriously worsen your mental health or your symptoms, that matters. Pushing through at the cost of long term stability, that's not resilience, it's harm. Support systems are essential. Healthcare providers, occupational therapists, benefits advisors, disability advocates, and just trusted people in your life can help you make informed decisions. You do not have to navigate alone. And the final thing I want to talk about and say is clearly and without apology, not working is not a moral failure. Disabled people are under constant pressure to prove their worth through productivity. That pressure is deeply damaging, especially for conditions like FND, where stress and nervous system overload directly worsen symptoms. Your value does not come from the job title, it doesn't come from your income or your output. If your work is something that you can do and want to do, it's okay to explore it slowly, carefully, and with the support you have in place. But if your work is not possible right now, or ever, that doesn't make you lazy. It doesn't make you broken, or less deserving of dignity and care. Returning to work with FND is not about pushing through your symptoms. It's about respecting your limitations, advocating for accommodations, and prioritizing that long-term stability over short-term productivity. And it is always okay if your answer is not yet. You're not alone, and there is no single right path to take. It's all about doing what is right for your body and your condition. Don't risk your symptoms getting worse just because you feel you should work. Now, I do want to make a quick announcement at the end of this video. Just to say that this is a different recording angle than usual. It is a recording angle from the webcam at my desk at the moment. And you may have seen me sat at a desk in my previous accommodation beforehand, before the move. This is a temporary recording location for this video, and possibly another video afterwards. But I am in the process of setting up an area that is more suitable for recording videos. And it will be an area that is dedicated to the videos, so somewhere that I will sit and record with, more of a better look to it. So keep an eye out and you may see, a better look of the videos coming up soon. But for right now, this is where I am. And if you have any videos that you would like to see, please let me know in the comments down below.